Don't let me say he's above the law, but I don't think so, buddy. You going to jail. You gonna be in cell with Diddy. You gonna be happy. You're both butt busters, so you're gonna be right at home with one another. He's also fuming because he got bears. Because he got locked up on the Golden Globe Awards. Now you know how those innocent victims you done in that church. Now you know how they feel. Right? Embarrassed. Now you know how they feel. Let's get into the video.
At a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Bill Malusha joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Charlie, good morning to you. Our colleague David Spunt and I getting this breaking news from multiple law enforcement sources just minutes ago, confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles just after midnight this morning at a hotel. This obviously all in connection with that storming of a church in St. Paul, Minnesota by that group of anti-ICE agitators.
So Don Lemon, aka Don Lemon, has recently been arrested in Los Angeles by federal agents for his role in that raid of a church outside of the city of St. Paul. Now, as you can see right there, these protesters, so-called protesters, decided that they were going to storm this location during a church service in order to shout down and intimidate a pastor who was not even there, because allegedly that pastor was somehow involved with ICE.
Renee Good! Renee Good! Renee Good!
Now, of course, they sold this as a peaceful protest. They would make claims in the mainstream media about how they weren't disrupting and they weren't intimidating anyone, although the videos clearly show that they were.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? Where are you? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino community?
And while we already saw arrests and charges of the main organizer, who is this female Black Lives Matter activist, by the way, somebody who is also running a nonprofit scam where she got a massive donation post George Floyd from the company Walmart and was paying herself $200,000 a year in order to run a nonprofit that was giving out like $70,000 a year in terms of grants, you know, the actual work that the organization was supposed to do.
All these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit. Is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No! Jesus would die with immigrants. You can die. Touch me. Touch me again and see what happens.
Hey, you can't.
You are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity? Where are you? You're sinners. You're pretending to be Christians. But we know you live an easy life, don't you? A very easy life while people are starving.
And this beardo weirdo who is threatening people, getting in their face, disrupting the church service, and basically implying if you came up to him, he was gonna fight you, as if he was not in somebody else's house of worship, intimidating and threatening people. Now, he had already talked about those two individuals in a previous video and how they were absolutely 100% guilty based on the letter of the law, but now things have changed a little bit because Don Lemon was arrested, and Don Lemon, of course, is a former CNN host. He's claiming that he was just acting as a neutral observer, a member of the media documenting this phenomenon, not actually participating in it, and this is why I want to break down what Don Lemon actually did so you can understand why Don Lemon is technically 100% guilty as charged for the FACE Act, and also why Don Lemon will be deemed to be above the law and not actually face those consequences. But before we get into that, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
Into Minneapolis a little bit ago and did some reconnaissance on the ground. I'm speaking to an organization there that's gearing up for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we were like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? saw the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. And it's Takima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd, Dante Wright, and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. And so that's what we're doing here. And then after we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, I can't tell you where they're going.
So if you look at the stream that Don Lemon is in prior to the storming of the church, he is obviously with the people that are about to go there, and there are different moments in that stream, in the broadcast, where Don Lemon ends up turning off the camera in order to not expose the hands of the people that he is embedded with. Now, of course, you could make the argument that people in bed with U.S. military personnel, and they do so under the condition that they won't give away their position and whatnot, but in reality, this looks a lot more like Don Lemon is participating in the planning of this particular event. He's doing it obviously so that he can monetize the reaction for his podcast, because he's trying to get more attention now that he's left his cushy job at CNN. But obviously, this is a guy who is describing this as an event that we are participating in, meaning him and the other people, and it seems like he is involved in the planning stages or the conspiracy behind this particular event. In addition to that, when we jump forward in just a little bit, what we ultimately end up seeing is that these people show up to the church, and at some point in time they start chanting, and by the way, they're chanting ridiculous things, including hands up, don't shoot, which of course is a callback to the Michael Brown hoax. And during that whole fiasco and all that chaos, Don Lemon takes an opportunity to confront the pastor who is trying to get people out of his church.
What do you think of this? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So, but there are folks who will. I have to take care of my flock.
Listen, we live in there's a constitution and a First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus, because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why we're here. Okay, that's what we're about.
I think Jesus would be understanding and
we're about
love these folks.
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
no
Christian?
one is willing to talk.
Okay.
Now, of course, Don Lemon is going to describe this as him simply reporting the event that he knew about beforehand, worked on the planning with, decided.
I swear somebody needs to smack the shit out of Don Lemon. You walk to a church of Lord. You defile his home. You don't go into my house and disrespect them, Don Lemon. How would you feel if I went to your home and disrespected you and your family? Wouldn't like it. So you went into God's home and disrespected his children during worship. Then you have the nerve to say you're a Christian. I'm sorry, but no Christian sucks another man's dick or gets it in his ass. I'm sorry. The Bible clearly states, I'm about to pull up the scriptures here again, because I'm sorry, but let me pull up the scriptures and go online and help pull up there, so that way I won't make no ass of myself. Here you go. I'm going to clear it as a sin. There you go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Romans 1. put the camera phone down real quick so I can go through it. You can see my Bible. Pretty. Oh, there you go. Well, yeah, right there. It's pretty old. Had for a long time. Romans 1, New Testament 709. Well, Chronicle, here we go. Chronicles 1, chapter 6. Chronicle 1, chapter 6 right here. Oh, the other one. Okay. Made a mistake. Sorry about that. I'm only human. Okay, here we go. Chapter 6. Chronicle 1, verse 6. Chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not the righteous, that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Be not devised, neither forsaken, neither idols, or neither adultery, neither prisoner or abuse of themselves with mankind. So yeah. Now Romans 1. Okay, Romans 1 verse 32 states right here. Let me check it out. Verse 32. Okay, don't have verse 32 on here. Alright. I think I know what I messed up at. Here we go. See about the King James Bible. That's the only Bible I trust is King James. Romans 1, verse 26 through 28. Romans 1, verse 26, 28. Chapter 1, 26 through 28. For this cause God gave unto them unto the vow affection, for even their women did not change the nature used into that which is against nature. And likewise also the man, leaving the nature use of the women, burrowing in their lust one towards another, man with man, working that which is unseemly, and receiving into themselves that is recurred to of their error which was met. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a repugnant mind to do these things which are not convenient. There you go. I don't like gay shit, man. I'm telling you. Now, chapter 1, Chronicle 1, chapter 6, verses 9 through 11. Chronicles 1, chapter 6, 9 through 11. As unknown and yet well known, as dying, and behold, we live as chastity and not kill. As sorrowful yet always rejoicing, as poor yet making many rich, as having nothing and yet possessing all things. O ye colonel, our mouth is open unto you, our heart is enlarged. There's another thing. Don't play with God like that, okay? Let's go with Mark chapter 10. Actually, go with Leviticus. I think I said that right. Chapter 18, verse 22. There should not lie with mankind, as with womankind is an abomination. Here's all the Bible verses that tells you what's going on. There you go. That helped y'all out right there. There you go. Back to the video here.
That he was going to join in on. However, I will point out that this also is very similar to some of the journalistic criticism that Chris Hansen received with his famous series To Catch a Predator, because many people noted in the industry that it is over the line of journalistic ethics when you're not reporting the news and you're actually participating in manufacturing the news. And in my opinion, this is exactly what Don Lemon is doing right here. He was involved in this organized event in the planning stages. We saw that. He ended up covering up from his audience where it was going to occur prior to the event so that they wouldn't get busted. And then he waits for the people to participate, and in fact actually says that he has to go in last after them because he doesn't want to be recognized, because he's so famous, so wonderful, and so special, to make sure that their plan can go off without a hitch. And then, even though the goal was to confront the pastor, Don Lemon is one of the first people to get up in the face of the pastor and multiple parishioners. And by the way, people have pointed this out, that you can actually see through the various still